stand up? What's your brother's?
I'll probably alternate. And if I sit, I'll probably be able to stay more consistently near the mic here. Radio in the 1920s created tribal man right here in North America on a big scale. The Jazz Age was a huge enterprise, a quest for corporate tribal identity. Gertrude Stein said, when she looked at her own generation, which could not possibly join this jazz baby enterprise, you are all a lost generation.
Whether we take Reginald Fessenden's word for granted, that he was first to transmit voice via wireless in 1906, or whether we consider Lee de Forest's visionary attempts to use wireless as means of entertainment for the masses in the decade of the 1900s, these prophetic lads were still figuring it out 10 years later.
Very few people had access to actual radio sets, so the idea of entertaining the masses didn't make any sense at all.
Most people were working 24/7 and had no need to be entertained. Those who did have time to spare were clever enough to actually leave their houses and go to enjoy live bands that they could see with their own eyes and feel with their own skins.
But then, of course, the end of the 19th century had produced a whole new generation who was thirsty for cosmic, life-changing events such as the invention of the bulb and the microphone. Also, these things were invented by great entrepreneurs. Therefore, by 1910, the idea of making one's own patent was pretty mainstream.
Many young men bought their monthly magazine Boys, where there was a section about building a radio transistor. They could buy bits separately, follow the instructions on the magazine, and send love poems to each other via wireless.
Just to clarify, and so you don't think we are biased? Women did exist in 1900s. They are busy having babies and claiming they had the right to vote. As if democracy was real. Stupid women.
Finally, in 1921, Joseph Horn in Pittsburgh manufactured a ready-made transistor. And boom. Within a year, he sold God knows how many thousand transistors. And radio stations proliferated like ants around a pot of honey. Westinghouse transmitted the first ever news spot on their station KDKA on November the 2nd, 1921, followed by loads of other stations in the United States of America like 8MK, WWK and the KKK.
This is KDKA of the Westinghouse Electric and Manufacturing, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We shall now broadcast the election returns. We'd appreciate it if anyone listening to the broadcast could communicate with us, as we are very anxious to know how far the broadcast.
On the other side of the Atlantic, as tends to be the case in Europe. Everyone was rowing in different directions, yet everyone was doing the same kind of thing. A lot of music, a bit of entertainment, reading of poems and important news. Some started to wonder about teaching farmers how to read and write. Others got nostalgic about their long-lost kingdoms.
Broadcasting stations didn't quite know how far they were reaching either, but just in case governments put in place restrictive laws on foreign frequencies, radio quickly became a big propaganda machine.
The unique fact this time was that the propaganda was reaching everyone quite equally, and the farmers who didn't read or write definitely knew how to use it.